Now we're going to take a look at scanning payable invoices into FreshBite. First things first, we have to put in the payable. We'll go under Payables, Payable Invoices, and we can select either inventory or non-inventory payables. The software will allow you to use both. I'll select inventory payables, and I'm going to select an invoice I've already put in the system. You would just put the invoice in first and then print this document out. So after I've put that in, I'm going to choose Print Vendor Invoice Summary. I'll preview this for you. It is essentially a cover page that's going to go on top of the vendor payable that will uniquely identify the invoice so that it can be scanned in. So you will input each invoice and then print out this vendor invoice summary. You'll see the button here on the header page for the invoice. As well, you can also do payables, fresh scan, and print vendor invoice summary. From here, you can select an invoice date range, certain vendors, or even individual invoices, and print those vendor invoice summaries out in bulk, which makes life a lot easier. There is also an option to print out a label that you can affix to the vendor's payable that would read the same way. Now, let's actually scan. Go under Payables, Fresh Scan, Scan Payable Invoices. Once I've done so, the scanning screen will come up. I do have options here to determine whether or not I want it scanned in black and white or grayscale, and also my DPI brightness, whether or not I'm feeding from the feeder or flatbed, and whether or not I would like to scan both sides of the documents. It's important to note that based on black and white or grayscale, as well as the DPI, this will determine the size of the image file. That's important to be cognizant of if you are concerned about server disk space. First step, I'm going to select the source or select the scanner. I've selected that, and now I will choose Acquire, and this is where it will scan the invoices. It's important to note whatever options you selected here will remain each time you pull up the screen. You don't have to change them each time. You can use a multifunction copier, printer, scanner that you have in-house, or some of our customers do like individual document scanners. Mainly the Fujitsu line is very popular. Now that those are done scanning, I will come here to process in images. And I can see from here, I've got the cover page as well as the actual vendor invoice behind that. Now, anything it couldn't read the barcode on would be down here so that I could actually rename that to the correct thing and then save. Once I'm done, everything looks good, I will select process. And now those are actually paired up with the invoices that they belong with in the system. Now, how do I view them? First thing is we can go back to our actual payable invoice and take a look at those. And I will select that invoice again. And I can hit Review Scanned Images. So now this will give me all the scanned invoice documents. And you'll see I've got 3 here. Each one has a different revision number. It may be that you spoke to the vendor and wrote some things on the invoice. Maybe they're giving you a credit and you have notes on there and you want to scan that in again. You can do that, and each time you scan that same document in, it will give it a new revision number. From this screen, you can either view or email the document if you would like. In addition, we can also pull up the vendor screen, the vendor master, and I can then look at the accounting tab and ledger. And again, I'll select this invoice. I can double click on it, and as usual, you'll see your details, your payments, and then you've got your scanned invoice images. If you're also scanning and receiving cards, then you would see those there. And then lastly, or next to last, you've got your approval for accounts payable. I'll select my vendor again, select the invoice here, and choose review scanned images. Again, gives me that same screen with all the revision numbers on it. And then lastly, under payables, fresh scan, we can review scanned payable invoices. So I can look at a time frame and choose refresh. And so now this will show me all my payable invoices. On the left, if I have scanned images for those, and on the right would be if I had any payable invoices that I had not scanned in for that time period. And that should be it. Definitely check out the other videos regarding scanning of receiving cards as well as sales documents